NewsNation's Hannah Brandt on the North Lawn for us and joins us from there. What's the update from the White House, Hannah?
Hey, Connell. Well, we seem to be really at a critical crossroads in this conflict. President Trump, as you said, on the one hand, signaling he's hopeful a deal with Iran is within reach, but also he's preparing military options in case those negotiations don't go the way he wants them to. And we're now more than a month into this war. So I asked the White House press secretary about some of the conflicting messages we're getting about the timeline and when this could end. Take a listen.
I know President Trump says we're ahead of schedule in achieving his military objectives in Iran. He laid out that 4 to 6 week timetable for this conflict, and we're now within week 5. So how do you square kind of those two?
Well, 4 to 6 weeks estimated timeline. Again, you just said we're on day 30 of the operation. I just provided you with some of the updates from the Pentagon directly in achieving the objectives, and the military has been enormously successful. I think we should all be very proud of our armed forces for what they have done over the past 30 days. The mission will continue until the objectives are achieved, and that 4 to 6 week timeline does remain right now.
This morning, President Trump on Truth Social talking about both of those different tracks, saying the U.S. is making progress in negotiations, but also threatening to go after Iranian power and energy infrastructure. And the U.S. is amassing more military firepower in the region. Thousands of troops arriving to the Middle East over the weekend. We learned from CENTCOM. As the Washington Post reports, the Pentagon is currently preparing for weeks of ground operations. They do say that would not be a full-scale invasion, but rather a targeted one. And that would include potentially special ops and infantry troops. As Jessica mentioned, the Wall Street Journal also reporting the president weighing a different ground operation, potentially to send in those American forces to extract uranium from Iran. That could be a complicated and risky operation, but would help achieve the president's top goal to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. President Trump has repeatedly refused to answer whether he plans to put U.S. troops on the ground. He did tell reporters just last night when asked that he has a lot of alternatives. And White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt basically reiterated that, saying that she wouldn't rule out that option for the president, Connell.
Yeah, you were talking to her about timeline, but I think you asked her about funding for the war as well, right?
That's right, because the big thing here is that the Pentagon has asked for Congress to approve an extra $200 billion for this operation. That would be beyond the money that they've already pumped into this effort, and it's a lot of money. We know Republican lawmakers are looking at some options to make that happen and to balance that out, with one report now saying they're considering slashing health insurance subsidies to do so. Here's what the White House said about that.
There are reports that Republicans are weighing cuts to health care in order to make way for that $200 billion for the Pentagon and Operation Epic Fury. Is that a trade-off that President Trump supports?
I've seen these reports. I haven't spoken to the president about it, nor have I heard this being discussed in any high-level meetings here at the White House. I don't want to weigh in definitively because I just haven't heard that being discussed here in the West Wing.
Of course, if and when President Trump does weigh in on that issue, it could certainly have a lot of sway with Republicans on Capitol Hill. But we also know Congress is in the middle of a different funding fight right now on DHS. And Leavitt did say President Trump is urging lawmakers to come back and figure out a deal on that front, Connell.
Yeah, still work to do there as well. All right, Hannah. Hannah Brandt's live at the White House. I want to go back to the Karg Island discussion for a moment. We have it on the big wall here, and then we'll talk about it. First of all, on Karg, just location matters. I mean, you're nowhere close to the Strait of Hormuz where Keshem and Larak are. Instead, with Karg Island, you're all the way up in this direction. That's like 300 miles to where it's actually located, sitting up in the northern Persian Gulf. And if we zoom in on Karg itself, you get an idea of sort of what you're dealing with on the island. In fact, to switch over here, it's labeled the oil refinery that's down in this area, the export terminal that's in this area. These other installations, some of the military installations have already been hit, but I think the larger point to remember with Karg, again, there's not a lot of daylight, okay, between the Iranian mainland and Karg Island, maybe 15, 20 miles, something like that.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.